What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Spencer, showing off a super duper brand new deck. And I guess I'll just start playing the replays here, and that is going to be Traptrix Generators. I played Traptrix a long time ago on the channel. I think I played it with Malefics, which was pretty interesting. But that was like when I first started playing Yu-Gi-Oh. And I saw that Traptrix had topped some sort of, not regional, but some event that Traptrix had gotten up on there, and I think they're using Dogmatica as kind of like the supplemental engine. And I tried that too, and I also tried Eldlich. I may still release that video because I made a lot of replays for it. I was gonna release it yesterday, but I don't know. I just feel like it was missing something, and it didn't feel like Dogmatica it fit. Like it was just too in there. And honestly, I've never played Generators before until now. I really like this archetype. I think it's really good, but it can only work in very specific situations, right? But the great thing about Generators is the fact that, first of all, it just produces an Omni Negate every turn, right? Like Har Generator or Boss Storms does that, which is amazing. But the cool thing is, you would think you need all these tokens, right? Because it does every monster zone produces these tokens, and it's actually not very true at all. You only need 3 zones because you just need to tribute 2 tokens for the effects, and one of them or some of them are already just 1. And then also, the Traptrix is just so good, and you run so many hand shots. The generator stuff is a very small engine. I think it's probably 9 cards, maybe 10 cards. And then Traptrix is also pretty small. You only need 1 monster, right, to get your engine going for that Link 1. And then they just start to replace each other. So this gets the ball rolling. Also, this is a normal trap. So that was one of the main reasons I attempted to do this, because being able to activate Traptrix Generaider with your supplemental engine is just really good, especially in this interaction here, constantly being able to pop spells and traps. And the great thing is when this card is summoned at all, it's a trigger effect. When it's normal summon, even if your opponent doesn't have a spell and trap, the effect technically goes off, so you still get the effect of Traptrix Generaider, which is what you're looking for. And at this point, I have so much advantage, right? Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and trigger this. So I have all these tokens. I'm going to be able to banish a card, so it's very flexible, right? If it's turn 0 and you're setting yourself up for the next turn, you're almost always going to go into Har. And that's awesome. That's also the really cool thing. Once you get 2 of these bad boys on the field, you get to use both of their effects, because they contribute themselves, which is awesome. If it said other than this card, I would almost understand that. But no, it doesn't have that restriction at all. So you can use the banish effect and then use the Omni Negate if you have to. I decided against this guy, all these cosmics. I'm like, yes, finally I'll be set up for these cosmic cyclones. And yeah, we discarded our entire hand. That was really unfortunate. I feel okay. This is literally a danger deck, which is pretty random. He didn't draw very well. I don't think you can do pure dangers, honestly. Lots of solemns here. You're actually able to do some really cool stuff. This guy seems to have just completely taken over the duel, at least to me, right? The 2 solemn judgments is really good. Now he's going to have summon limit, and just take a look at just how versatile this deck is. So this actually counts towards the summon limit. 1, and then this is 2 big summon. So I'm not restricted at all. That's a pretty interesting interaction, honestly. And if your opponent was playing something like Skill Drain, you're able to produce a 3,000 attack body, which is pretty nice. And boom, just under 2 summons, I can bring back the Mermello to pop a card. This effect is so underrated, because you're able to trigger it every single turn practically through so many different ways. Here's the other duel against that danger deck. I guess I'll just show it. Oh, it's Grand Maju. I don't think that's it, Chief. I really don't. I feel like you should just focus on your other draw engines. He goes ahead and Solemn Judgments there, but that's fine. Setting myself up for next turn, although it's kind of a long haul, to be honest with you, because I need to get Mermello in the graveyard to have that same interaction, and that's maybe what I learned from last duel. This is just, you just saw me like the better play I did last time, right? Although I guess it was a little crummy either way. I didn't have this card in my hand, so there's really nothing I could have done. I just have a lot of Traptrix in my hand. This card is, the only reason it's in my deck is because when it's special summon, you get to add a generator card or a plant monster. So there is a lot of synergy. Like, I think all of these are plants, if I'm not mistaken. Like, some of them are insects, but some of them are plants. So literally it searches out the most important one for the most part that you want to search from the deck, because it lets you like go into your rank 4s. I have like a rank 4 toolbox in my deck. And here's one of those tools right there. If your opponent just leaves a monster in attack position, you're going to win like 90% of the time, which is nice, because there technically are like a lot of bricks in the deck, but they don't, like, you're not going to draw all of your bricks, right? If that makes sense. Also, the one that searches the plant searches a generator card. So if you do end up drawing like something that you really want, like a Har, there's a spell card that, you know, the one searches out to where you can like add this field spell and the trap card to your hand and then send it back into the deck. So technically you have a way out. Alright, looks like I'm playing Invoke Dogmatica. I do main deck Harpies. I'm starting to become more and more of a fan of this. Get your way out for Mystic Mine, of course, but yeah. I know people are playing Imperial Order, but you know, game 1, I feel like no one's really expecting. I don't see too many people main decking. I'm not that afraid. Plus, the Traptrix engine can take care of it. You know, like you have an in archetype out, and I want to say Marshmallow, but the one that pops. This isn't true Invoke Dogmatica. This isn't like the competitive version, because they are playing branded, which may become meta. I don't know. I mean, being able to fusion summon from the deck is obviously very, very good. Okay, so I don't want to play into any monsters, and it's not like I don't know. I don't want to play into like Schism or something like that and have him send something off the board. So I actually just kind of played it safe. He did have the Ash for the Generator boss fight, which is super duper unfortunate, because if it didn't have that draw 1 effect, it would just be, you know, activating from the deck. But it does trigger boss stage, so it ends up kind of being worth it. Okay, so here is the traditional setup. I'm going to go ahead and infinite impermanence that. He's going to try to infinite impermanence my Sarah, but it's unaffected by trap effects, which is so funny. Like, it ended up just being a misplay, but I think that's hilarious, right? So yeah, this effect is going to go through. Unaffected by all trap effects. Pretty funny. Here's Lyrilusk. Not the best matchup in the world. It would just take a lot of playtesting. The deck is also just super duper resilient. I mean, Small World, Bird Call, and you know, so many other cards that just extend. Wagtail, Searches Bird Call. So you're just, it's like, wouldn't you stop them? I don't know, really. There we go. I was able to get that trigger effect off. And then, yeah, I still have the Rafflesia. That's going to go ahead and just negate that summon. I was like, well, I don't know. Really, it's not the best play in the world. He's going to go into a double Zeus, which is actually kind of nice in this position because the Vesculo, whatever you want to call it, when it's in the graveyard, you can actually banish it to set like one of your traps if you don't have any, which can be good in the early stages of the game. Look at this play. Look at this play. He's going to try to get it off. And not only like is he going to screw himself by doing this because its attack gets lowered. So it wasn't going to be game, and now it is. Although there is like a rank up system with Utopia that you can go into a double pop Zeus, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I thought I'd show that off. And then I played like a bunch of vampires when I was playtesting this, so I don't know why. Oh, and I haven't used Ash in a long time because like Crossout Designator. I don't think that card's going to be that popular. It's pretty dang awkward. And also, it's just good. Like, not everybody's playing it, and it feels so worth it. This card is so, like, it is high impact. I don't know. It's kind of interesting, but it feels that way at least. You know, in the casual scene for sure. I don't know how competitive this could possibly be, but it certainly does have some really nice plays. All right, there goes the infinite impermanence. So I run 3 Ash, 3 infinite impermanence. It's kind of like my main hand trap lineup. And then obviously you have all these supplemental pieces with the traps. I think trap cards can be really good as long as you're able to slow your opponent down if you're not, going first, which I think this is what this deck accomplishes. Very much so. All right, so he's going to add a card to his hand. I'm going to go ahead and... So there we go. Now I have like a really, really good interaction here because now I have 2 of these bad boys, meaning that I'm going to be able to get a pop, like a banish any card, and an Omni Negate too. So if you do have the extra, monster zones, like I talked about, you only need 2. It's good either way. Because if you don't have that many zones, it means you have a good monster on the board, and yeah. These are like vampire, zombies, all of the above. Honestly, they start to like mix in with each other, in my opinion. Or he's going to go ahead and effect failure, which is fine. Like, this is just like added benefit to being able to search a trap, but Parallel Exceed is obviously just an insane card. Really flew under the radar. So I could have made like regular plays, but it's like, all right, well, I just don't have to. Like, this is it. This is the end of the duel. And people just aren't playing around this because no one expects you to play this package. Okay, so it looks like they're playing Bottomless Trap. Well, that's pretty interesting, actually. Call the Haunted too. This is pretty wild. They're running Eldlich in here too. Why not, dude? Just throw it all in. Heck yeah. All right, there we go. And considering that I'm just trying to like start popping his cards, I did have this in my hand, so this isn't a bad other option. I'm not worried about the field spell just quite yet. I think it has something to do with sending special summon monsters, but it has to have 6 counters on it, which is a little much. Also, I'm pretty sure this just straight up banishes. It doesn't even destroy. Yeah, it doesn't destroy and banish. So targeting's, kind of sussy, but, at least it has like that form. It gets around destruction effects. And this is that double stack Zeus I was talking about. So you can get 4 materials on Utopia. I think it's like the best engine actually for Zeus. And you're only going into Zeus in, dire situations. So if he's able to get rid of all of this, then you can still use Zeus effect. Which is, big part of your extra deck. At least for me. Alright. I actually don't know what any of these cards do. I don't know. Once per turn, you can attach 1 material's card and then target 1 card your opponent controls, send it to the graveyard. Huh. Yeah, they just don't have much, I feel like. They need, like, new support. I think he tried to summon Unizombie off of Crystron Halifibrax, but, yes, unfortunately, I could just negate this summon, which is what I do here. That's pretty cool, right? Which triggers the effect of Sarah. That's awesome. I was gonna go into Zeus, but I do have these like really nice traps, so I actually don't really have to, and I can just use this as another form of disruption. That triggers, of course, like I've been talking about. 2 more tokens. I have my Omni Negate on the line, and if he searches anything, he's gonna have to get rid of one of his cards. So that extra card that he got off of the boss stage is, he's gonna lose that. Now it's really, really possible, that your opponent like. Oh, this is so cool. He has to get rid of one of his hand traps, so that's why it is good. Yeah, this monster's pretty good. There is a extra deck monster too that I don't go into that also kind of works with card advantage, and there's a lot of other of them that let your opponent draw cards, but generally I'm trying to avoid that as much as possible. Every time he adds a monster, it has to send it. Ring 4 Toolbox. I've been liking this card a lot. Castell. I think it's actually pretty good right now. Because there's not a lot of hard negates, I feel like, in the format. Maybe like 1 you have to deal with. For the most part, it's all these weird floodgate cards. So I think Castell kind of works through that a little bit. I hard drew the double or nothing, but it kind of worked out for me because I wasn't able to avoid attacking directly. I was able to at least adjust myself to go for game. Alright, it's a little, having 2 of these is fine, because you just want to be able to normal summon this next turn to go into a rank 4, so, even if it is another Diania. Yeah, because it doesn't say accept this card, which is nice, it doesn't have any restrictions on it. Alright, Cosmic Slide Clone, Forbidden Droplets. It'd be really cool if you could use Forbidden Droplets to get rid of the tokens, but you do have to send them to the graveyard, so. And honestly, I think this could just be a regular hand trap, like Effect Veiler. I think that'd be fine. Or maybe like Ghost Ogre. I don't know, something like that to play around Zeus. Alright, we'll go ahead and negate that, because I think this is like a battle phase effect, so he's able to get over a lot of stuff. That's fine. Alright, we'll go ahead and negate that there, because I'm going to be able to, you know, bring it back next turn. I'm going to banish this. It's like a Infernity Barrier, you know. This does come back because of the field spell. I can banish it, but ultimately it didn't matter either. But like, this is super duper game, because he was adding cards, so he has to discard a monster, which is pretty nice. I can pop the other one, and here we go. I did go into it, but like, this is the end of the game anyways. The only reason I didn't activate the effect is because you know, I can't attack directly with this. But otherwise, if he somehow survives, I would have just main phase 2, used this, and then whatever he drew off the top is also coming to my hand. So when you get to the later stages of the game, this card becomes so impactful, because every time they draw, if they don't have a lot of board presence, you're just taking it. You're just, okay, it's mine. And yeah, that was Traptrix Generators. I'm really excited to show this deck off. It's honestly insane. Like, it's so fun. It's one of the most fun decks I've played in a long time. It's just rogue, it's random, it's totally me. But yeah, other than that, that's going to do it for today's video, and I'll see you guys next time.